Okay, Mary Esther, come on up. So we have our reptile friends back again, and we're going to have some fun little critters to show you. And so, how are you?
Good.
Here you go. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you for having us back. And the critters are a little more active this time.
They are. And so go ahead and tell us real quick, introduce these guys and the tortoise.
Well, JJ's been doing laps here the whole time. And fortunately, she knows edges, but she's always a big carrot to wear, especially with her pink flower on.
Aw.
And I have BB here, which stands for burned bottom, because of heating things that were too hot on the bottom. And the one you've got is BT, burned top.
Burned top, yeah.
And it was from a heat light that was too hot that burned the whole top.
Oh, and she does have some scars here, poor thing.
Yeah,
so.
these are real hits with us when we take our programs out. We always like these two.
She must know who you are because she's waking up now.
There's the food master.
So I have some questions for you. So tell us the name of your organization and your website.
International Reptile Rescue, both the website and the Facebook. We have a great Facebook because we post most of our rescues in real time. And so people get to see pictures of what they looked like when we got them, not all healed and fat and fluffy. So.
Oh. Yep, there we go. And I know you guys are rescues, so you bring in animals that are people who can't keep or were abandoned or whatever. And then, so how does a person who has adopted an animal, one of these wonderful, wonderful reptiles, how do you house a pet reptile at home?
Well, it depends upon what it is. They have to go through the adoption process, and we want to make sure, if it's an aquarium like a snake or a lizard, we want to make sure they've test run it for a week to make sure to get all the bugs and everything out. You don't want to test an environment while the animal is in it. You know, it could be too hot, too cold, too humid, too dry, so you want to test run it for at least 7 days.
So get it all acclimated, the humidity right.
Any bugs out of it, yeah.
Okay. So then, as some people and I have seen on movies, for instance, people have these wonderful snakes and lizards and things. They give them run of the house. Is that something you can do?
It's not something that we recommend. Your animal should have an enclosure that it sleeps in and is in when you're not home. Most reptiles are down on the floor, so even if your house is airtight, there's still drafts down there. No matter how clean your house is, there's always dust, and so it's just not in a healthy environment. If you're home and you want them out, that's fine, but when you're not there, they should always be in something, because something could happen, something could fall on them, or an electric cord, they could pull something off, start a fire, with a light or something. So just for your safety as well as theirs, they should be in an enclosure when you're not there.
Okay. And so then when you have a prospect for adopting one of them, do you go to their house and do you inspect the place, make sure there's no holes they can get into and things like that? I'm sure it's snake-proof.
People are pretty good with sending us good pictures.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay.
Sometimes we do, but most of the time we go by pictures and things.
Okay. And then so for the aquariums and their, the terrariums, and where can you get stuff like that? I mean, is it something you can go to one of the local pet stores?
People donate an animal. Occasionally they'll donate a nice, terrarium or aquarium with it. And we have those up for adoption with some of the animals also. And some people already have an enclosure, which sometimes is kind of funny because they went out and they've got this really nice enclosure and they want to put an animal in it, but the animal they want is a desert type animal, and they fixed up a really nice humid environment.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to go, well, you're going to either have to change the cage or change the animal you want, because what you want won't work in that environment. So before people go out and spend a lot of money, decide what animal you want first rather than building the cage and assuming this animal is going to work in it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we see that a lot.
A snake won't work in a chicken coop.
Nope, not exactly, no. Although we have seen them in chicken coops, and their whole noses are off, or, wire cages, chicken wire cages, or rabbit wire. Oh, yeah. We see that a lot.
Aw. So should people do research before about what kind of animal they want before they come see you, or do you provide all that information? Or
we'd like them to do their research on the internet so they can see how frustrating it can be, because you can go to 4 different websites and get 4 totally different ideas in how to care for the animal. That way, when they come to us, they're already frustrated about information, but they have all the misinformation that's out there, so we can explain why this one doesn't work, why that one doesn't work, and the information that we're going to give you does work, rather than giving them the information and then have them do their research and go, well, gosh, this seems pretty logical. Instead of checking with us first, they'll go ahead and change it. So we prefer them to do the research so we can explain why some of the things that might sound kind of logical really aren't. So.
Makes sense. Good. Okay. So are there state laws regarding having reptiles or various kinds? Or
some snapping turtles, Oregon red-eared sliders. In Oregon, red-eared sliders are illegal, but they're legal in Washington. And most people think that the red-eared slider has certainly been indigenous for many decades, because females can take a long time to reach 15, 16 inches, which is a big one and an old one. But you can frequently find females that big.
Wow. Okay. Fine. We have a whole zoo here for you guys to meet all these wonderful creatures tonight. So, do you, as long as you're, do you get aquatic reptiles in?
Alligators. We don't take red-eared sliders because we can't adopt them out. And even if we did take red-eared sliders, we would have hundreds in a year. Wow. We just get, 12, 15, sometimes more emails and calls a week to take red-eared sliders. So even if we did take them, there's no way we could, just house them all. And when we go places and do programs, I'm always very vocal about water turtles are not good choices. You might pay $5 or $10 for the turtle, but even to do a very minimal basic setup is like $200. And people just aren't going to do that. You're not going to pay $10 for the animal and a lot of money for the environment. And so, we see people keeping them in totes like that, and then, for the first few weeks, maybe they might change the water every day. And, well, gee, this is a lot of work, every 3 days. And, then the water is so dirty you can't see the turtle in it. So we just never encourage water turtles, especially if you've got young kids, because if you're going to have a turtle that might have salmonella, it would be from a water turtle in an unclean cage. So that's where you would have a problem. So we never recommend water turtles. They're very interesting, they're very active, but just not good choices because they're a lot of work. Buying the pumps and filters is very expensive.
Now, do reptiles, like even the larger ones, like the snakes and the monitors, and do they require yearly vet checks and vaccines and medications?
Not vaccines. Preventable health is the most important. If it's a healthy animal, we'll do checkups on it, weight, and like on turtles and tortoises, we do beak trimming and claw trimming. For people, that's important in captivity because in the wild, by walking over sticks and rocks, they keep their claws filed down. By eating food that has a little bit of gravel and grit on it, they keep the beak filed down, but they don't have those things in captivity. So, just like a dog or cat's claws, they need maintenance in captivity.
Okay.
So.
And no special medications or things like that.
No, not unless they're sick. And then, we do have vets that we recommend.
Oh, good. Too. Okay, thank you. Do you get wild reptiles in, and what do you do with them if you do?
If it's in a city, we'll take it in, put it out in the country. But most of the time it's people in the country that find it, and thank heavens for cell phones with cameras nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I can identify it, you know, even if I'm out of state or something. Oh, it's just a garter snake, put it back.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's something that's really important. I know we talked about that last time, and especially now when you're going to be seeing more reptiles, in particular snakes. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, I just want one. What makes you think you're the only person that wants one? Mm-hmm. Put it back. You know, if you have, in particular, garter snakes, if they find your yard comfortable, they will stay there. As long as you don't harass them. If you have like a porch, they can hibernate under the porch. The big ones will certainly eat the mice and stuff. And sure, as long as you don't harass them, they'll stay there, and you'll have generational snakes, which is a neat thing for people if you can, you know, get them to break the need of having to pick it up and put it in a cage in a house. Mm-hmm. And it's really neat to experience wildlife in the wild where it belongs.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially the local stuff, but it's really cool, and teach people how to build a rock garden with crevices, you know, so the garter snakes can hibernate in it. And one lady was really funny. We obviously did too good a job with her rock garden. She had garter snakes all over the place. Wow. They sent out evites or something. This is a great place. So we kind of overdid that one.
Oh, very cool. So now, do you get, because I know frogs are amphibians and they're not reptiles, do you get things like people requesting care for frogs?
For frogs, but in general we don't take them. Our place, we're just too warm. A lot of frogs like it a little bit cooler. So we do have many fosters that can take frogs, but we don't take it, but some of our fosters do that are into frogs. So.
Oh, neat. Good to know. Okay. Tell us about your programs you do. You mentioned you do all kinds of programs. Let's chat about that.
That's what all these are here today. I was at Road Scholar, and these are some of the animals from the program. And except for two, which are our personal animals, all the animals we take are rescue animals. A lot of times people take rescue animals, but they're perfectly healthy, and you tell the story. But it's easier to relate to something like BT if you can actually see what happened to it rather than a perfectly healthy animal. So we find, especially, you know, it's not cute and cuddly and furry, you know, cute face kind of thing.
He's kind of cuddly.
Well, I think so, but some might not. But it's easier for people to do the awe factor if they can actually see a physical abnormality.
See real well.
This is a stripe down
very
the back.
scarred back. Poor thing. Yeah.
From a heat light. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy.
And you naturally have empathy, I think, for almost anything that you can see was injured rather than you were told was injured.
Yeah. So where do you go? What do you do in your programs?
We do all kinds of programs from young to old. We make it age appropriate. We do lots of daycare, summer camps, and I love daycare, you know, especially the 4 and 5-year-olds because their eyes are always just as big as plates, like little sponges.
So going to schools and very nice.
Schools, summer camps, scouting, vacation Bible schools.
Wow.
Anything family oriented. We do fairs, festivals, things like that. Anything family oriented.
Very nice. So then, do you work with the zoos?
They frequently or on occasion, if somebody has a reptile that they don't want or won't keep, they'll give out our name as somebody that will take it.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And so what is your range? What is, I want to say territory, but that's not quite the right word I'm looking for. How far will you go? How far will you?
For programs?
Well, to let people know, or to collect an animal, or
we San Diego, Oklahoma City.
To the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's a rare animal, we'll go get it. If it's a local one, you know, because we're the oldest reptile rescue in North America, so, you know, we know a lot of people, a lot of places that we can, you know, hopefully find somebody in the area that will be able to take it.
Oh, very nice. So all of these, with the exception of JJ and Wallet, who is our alligator.
I do not take credit for that name. I have to point that out.
So all of these are available for adoption, is that right?
No, these are the ones I use for programs.
Oh, okay.
These
are display creatures.
Yeah, these are display, but they're rescue.
Actually, they're your pets. Just
yes,
say it.
yes. Well, actually, I'm more their pet than them. They look hungry, and I run to the fridge.
There you go.
Whether they need it or not. But yeah, we have quite a few up for adoption, and we have an adoption at the Vancouver Mall, Best Western Plus, the first Saturday of every month, which is coming up next Saturday.
Okay. Well, so let's bring out some and meet them. So I'll go ahead and put BT back. Yes, we can do that. Go ahead and put her back. And these are the environments they stay in just when they're traveling.
Oh, yeah, these are travel containers.
Okay, so let's meet the skink.
This here is Larry. Larry is my personal animal that I've had for a long time.
Larry's a sweetheart. We like
and
Larry.
This is the monitor that we just picked up the day we were here last month. And it is such a marvelous monitor that we're keeping her for the program.
Oh.
And they thought it was a boy, but it's actually a girl, so we call her Molly Monitor.
Aww.
And look at that tub.
So tell us about what a monitor and what skinks are. Where are they from? Are they different environments?
Actually, monitors are desert to tropical to semi-aquatic, kind of all over warm parts of the world, kind of the equatorial area. Skinks, we have 2 native skinks here. Well, 3 skinks. We have the blue-tailed skink, the northern and southern alligator lizard, which is in the skink family. So skinks make great pets. The blue tongues, we rarely get them because they are such great pets. People just don't give them up. We have gotten a couple, and that's because the people moved to Hawaii, and you can't take reptiles into Hawaii.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they were really heartbroken.
Yeah. Is this Larry's story? They had to move?
No, Larry's fine. I got Larry when he was a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Larry's fine. Or I should say I belong to Larry.
You belong to, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You're very cuddly, Larry. Yes, you are. All right. Thank you, Larry. I know. Just a second. And we have some corn snakes here. There you go.
Now this one is one of our latest rescues about a week ago, and it has a funny story. We were out of state on a rescue, and again, thank heavens for cell phones. They found it in a parking lot, and so they took a picture, texted it to me, and I said, oh, it's just a harmless corn snake. And I said, just put it in something till we can get back. And of course, we get there, and what do they have it in? A glass jar. I like to think we have a sense of humor, so what would you name a snake in a glass jar? Jeannie.
Jeannie!
And I like to take the different morphs of corn snakes around so that people can see how many there are. This here's a normal corn snake, and it's a very pretty corn snake, although the people who originally had it fed it live food because it has a couple of nasty scars from a bite on it. This one is an albino corn snake.
This is an albino? Really? Yeah. Oh. And so what do corn...
the black and brown.
Oh, okay. And she is shedding, too. How cool.
And this one people really like. This is called the ghost corn snake.
And what do corn snakes...
You can see just a hint.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Pattern. Yeah. In the light, you can see just a hint of a pattern.
Beautiful. And what do they eat?
These eat strictly frozen thawed mice.
Oh, okay. So they're natural diet's rodents then.
Yeah. And in many cases, The people have fed them live. In some cases, the animal, oh, thank you, I don't have to kill my own food. And in other cases, they're so used to just eating frozen, thawed, or live food that it's hard to get them over eating dead food.
These little guys, these are the boas, right?
Yeah. Now, in December, we got a huge boa, which turned out to be pregnant. And on February 2nd, she had 18 babies.
Oh, my.
And, of course, a lot of people said, oh, how cool. Not really. It's 18 more mouths to feed.
Yes.
You know? So,
yeah, they're
and these
adorable.
are the 3 we've got left. If I would have thought about it, I'm trying to remember it next time. 4 of them were born with cleft lips.
Oh.
And it was amazing. I didn't think they had tongues because I hadn't seen for a long time flicking their tongues like these do. And then I was holding one day, and all of a sudden the tongue started flicking out the side. It was so cool looking. And they still do. The tongue flicks out the side now. And we're going to keep those because they're all eating. They're doing great.
Oh, good.
It's just amazing to see.
They seem to like to nest together. So they're beautiful.
And you can see each one looks different, the pattern, tail coloration.
Let's do some tortoise, then we'll get her out in a few minutes.
We'll wait for her to laugh.
And then we have these wonderful, fabulous tortoises. Aren't they cute? Every one of them looks different in here. They all have different patterns.
Yeah, that's a Russian tortoise. And this one here, because we take these around and explain, you can see the line here, and this is from being kept too dry. Even though they're from Afghanistan, people don't do any more research than that. Most of the animals spend the day underground in humid burrows. So just because it's hot and dry doesn't mean they're out in the desert.
You got these, they're so cute too, and they've got these beautiful patterns on the backs. Now these guys are young, is that right?
No clue on the ages of them.
We've got a couple. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them, 8 of them, 8 of them. And they, and she's got, some of them have their breeds on the back of them. So.
Because when we're done with the programs, people can come up and look at them and pet them. So it's nice to have the things on their back.
And they're very active too.
Now, box turtles and smaller tortoises like the Russians are good choices if you want a turtle, certainly not a water turtle. These are excellent choices. They're easy to take care of if you do everything right from the beginning. Easy to take care of, not expensive to care for, so good choices.
And they're not going to grow very big, is that right?
No, most of those are full grown. A couple might get a little bit bigger, but they're considered full grown at that size.
They're awfully cute. And then this one.
This is like JJ, just a smaller version.
And what is JJ? Remind us.
Sulcata or spur-thighed tortoise. And unfortunately, you can buy these at reptile shows and some pet stores. These are the 3rd largest tortoises in the world. They're just too big for pets for people. It's like a pony. It's a great pet, not in your house.
Yeah. You know? So some people do let these guys roam free in their homes, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And frequently they'll end up with respiratory problems. You know, because even though, you know, your house is heated, you're warm-blooded, and up here, they're cold-blooded and down there. So especially if they've just put linoleum or something over cement, you know, it's cold.
Yeah.
So, yeah, always, you know, put it in an enclosure.
You're cute. I know. Oh, put your feet in. There you go.
Yeah, that's why turtles, because their feet go this way, you have to put them in head first.
Yes. All right, let's visit with our alligator friend.
You're an expert alligator handler. You handled Wallet last time.
I did, yeah.
He says, okay, it's about time you're going to bring me out here.
Oh, my. Hi, Wallet. How are you?
Just over your arm there.
Here goes the tail. This is, his name is Wallet. It's a he, right?
I do not take credit for that. I'm pointing that out.
But he's a resident of the rescue. He lives there. And what is his story? Tell us where he came to rescue for you.
One that was relinquished by an owner. You know, and the majority of these owners, and I appreciate the afterthought, but I would have preferred a forethought. They'll say, you know, you have to laugh. What was I thinking? I'm not sure what you were thinking.
Yeah. Oh, he is so cool. And how old is he? He's small.
He's small, and this one was actually fairly well cared for. I would say he's probably in the maybe 2.5 year category. Because like I said, he doesn't have any older looking scales, and he was in pretty good shape when we got him. Most people underfeed them, though, or they give them just organ meat, but they should always have meat with bone in it. They should never have strips of meat.
Well, the calcium.
A lot of times people feed organ meat, you know, like liver or beef heart, because it's cheap, but it's not healthy. You know, their teeth are kind of sticking out every which direction, what few teeth they have. So, and their gums are enlarged, so it's pretty easy to tell. But yet at the same time, people will stand there and give you a bald-faced lie. Oh, mice the whole time. Yeah, right.
No.
Don't lie to somebody that knows you're fibbing.
No, yeah. And so he's not one that you're not going to let him go. He's not going to be rescued. I mean, he's not going to somebody's house to be a pet. He lives with you.
We don't adopt out the alligators. They're illegal in most states.
Okay. But he's so cool. But you do take him for shows and show him around.
Oh, everybody loves an alligator.
So he's not camera shy at all.
No, not at all. I'm an alligator.
In fact, he actually watches TV with you. Is that right?
He will sit. They like basically bright, one-dimensional cartoons. And there's a reason for that, because it's moving color, like wind in trees and big leaves and grass and stuff. It's fascinating. A lot of people say that if they turn certain cartoons on, that the animal will actually turn around and face the TV. Even if they don't have sound on, they will turn around and face the TV. So it's pretty cool that reptiles will see that. Oh, JJ's going, look, you guys aren't discussing me.
That's right. So there you go. Oh, it's okay, honey. It's all right. All right. So then, I know he's not doing it right now, but when I've held him before, he's growled or purred.
It's a chirp.
Okay.
My toes are being walked on.
Yes.
It's a chirp. Young ones will do that occasionally. It's like, where's my mom?
Okay. And he's considered young then, so.
Yeah.
How much bigger will he get?
We're pretty sure this one is a male. Males can get 12 to 14 feet, 1,500 pounds.
Wow.
So he's got a ways to go yet.
Well,
and a lot of people think that by not feeding them, you can keep them small. That is true to a point, but what you're doing is just slowly starving them to death.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people, you know, do you want to keep your kids small so you're not going to feed them very much? It's the same principle.
I was going to say, dead things don't grow.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's JJ.
Gotta check out the shoes and stuff here.
How old is she?
JJ's probably about 20.
Wow. And she can go to how old? 100?
Oh, well,
150?
Sure,
yeah.
Easy. Family heirloom pet.
There you go. There you go. So, okay. So let's go ahead and put him back. I'm going to go ahead and set him back in. I'm sorry. I know you like the limelight. There you go. And we'll sit back down. Oh, yes. We have to get the big snake out. Never mind. To get my...
Put the big snake around your neck for you.
Okay.
Got the microphone there. And again, I like to have fun with our snake names. So what would you obviously name a female boa constrictor? Feather boa. I do take credit for that one.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
And heavy.
Yes,
Where's her head here? Oh, there it is. Way heavier than they look.
She's going around your neck instead of mine. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
And how old is she now?
She has wrinkles. Believe it or not, snakes get wrinkles just like the rest of us. She's at least 5 to 8 years old because, you know, just like your wrist and everything, they always bend in the same place. And they have to be at least 5 to 8 years old before you see those wrinkles. But it's like a lot of times people say, my snake has rows of broken scales. And that is what it looks like, so that's a good analogy. But they always bend in this, you can see. Here's a row here.
Yeah.
You can see, but yeah, it looks like rows of broken scales. So I'm really glad when somebody calls because at least I know they're observant of their animal.
Yeah. And so then, now with all these animals, as you've given me a lesson, there's certain ways you hold them. You can't just pick them up by the head or the tail. Or
especially with snakes, because, you know, the rest of the bodies here are kind of a rule of thumb I try to teach people. 1/3 down from the head, 1/3 up from the tail, so they're balanced. So especially with a big one like this, so all the weight isn't being put, you know, around their neck or something.
Because they do have backs.
They do
have backs, yes.
Actually, that's an interesting question that I get asked every now and then. People are surprised that they have a backbone, which is really a good question because they say they're so agile that they figured they were like a shark, that only the head was bone, but the rest of it was cartilage. So that's actually a good question.
Yeah.
I like it when people ask a thinking question.
Oh, well, thank you.
Wrap around you here.
I love this snake. I want to take this snake home.
There you go. She's wonderful.
Go.
And here again, she's a rescue that we keep to take around.
Oh, that's right, she does. Her name is Feather.
Feather Boa.
beautiful.
And the neat thing about boas is they have mustaches and little goatees, even the girls.
So I'll keep holding on to her, and we'll sit down for a second. So then tell us again how we can find out more information about where you are, what you're doing, and what's your website?
Website and Facebook are both International Reptile Rescue. And we're looking to build an enclosure because we've got more tortoises coming in, which people are kind of still holding. But we're having a fundraiser to raise money, so they can see that on the Facebook. But the neat thing about the Facebook one is people can see the rescues as we get them. And, you know, some of the stories are pretty funny, you know, like Jeannie, which is a very funny story on there. So, you know, they can see all the circumstances we get them in. Thankfully, lately, most of the animals have been in pretty good shape.
Good.
So occasionally it's the other way around. They're all in terrible shape, and only a few are in good shape. But like I said, lately we've been, like the monitor, Molly Monitor is in great shape, and she's wonderfully friendly. So we've decided to keep her for our programs and stuff.
There you go. She's queen.
She's heavy, yeah. Heavier than she looks.
So tell us your website again.
www.internationalreptilerescue.com and then facebook.com/International Reptile Rescue.
And you'll be around again. So we'll be seeing you again.
We have all kinds of things to bring.
Good. So I just want to thank you again for coming down and playing with us. And I'd love to give her back, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Well, at least if she turns up missing, I know where to go.
That's right. That's right. And thank you all for visiting us tonight on The Shuffle. Again, we're here every Tuesday and every second and fourth Thursday of the month. And if you want to come down and play with us and either be talent for us or sit behind a camera or just be in our audience, we would love to have you. And again, our address is 4707 Northeast Minnehaha, Suite 309. There was my phone. Vancouver 98661. And we are at www.fvtv11.org. And until next time, have a great 2 weeks and a wonderful, safe 4th of July.